I ended my engagement to my fiancée after she wanted a break to explore her ex. So I used to believe that when you find the right person, everything just fits. That love was about trust, partnership, and building a future together. But I was wrong, because sometimes the person you trust the most is the one holding the knife behind your back. And I learned that the hard way. For 4 years, I thought I had it all. A solid relationship, a shared apartment, and an engagement that was supposed to lead to forever. Her name was Emily. She was smart, confident, and had this effortless charm that made people gravitate toward her. We met through a mutual friend at a bar, and from that night, things just clicked. Within a year, we moved in together. Our lives intertwined seamlessly. She worked as a freelance designer, and I was in project management, so our schedules were flexible. We spent lazy Sundays making pancakes, stayed up late watching crime documentaries, and talked about our future like it was set in stone. Marriage, a cozy house, maybe kids someday. It felt right, until it didn't. The first signs were small. Emily had always been excited about wedding planning, sending me Pinterest boards, debating between rustic or modern decor, obsessing over the perfect venue. But one day, it just stopped. I'd ask her questions. Did you pick your bridesmaids yet? Or, should we do roses or lilies for the tables? And she'd brush me off. There's still time. At first, I thought it was just stress. Wedding planning is overwhelming, right? I told myself she'd snap out of it, but she didn't. Then came the phone habits. Emily had never been secretive with her phone, but suddenly, she started tilting the screen away when I walked by. Her texts? Constant. And every time she saw a message pop up, she'd get this tiny little smile. The kind you try to suppress but can't. I told myself I was overthinking it. That changed the night she played the game. It was a Friday. We were out with friends, drinking, laughing, playing one of those dumb TikTok challenge games where you answer personal questions while keeping a straight face. Someone asked, if you could relive one relationship, which one would it be? Without missing a beat, Emily said, probably Jake. Silence. Jake. Her ex. The one who had cheated on her back in college. The one she had spent years calling a mistake. She must have realized what she just said because she laughed awkwardly. I mean, not that I'd want to. It's just a big part of my past. The room stayed uncomfortably quiet, and something in my chest cracked open. I waited until we got home. Why did you say Jake? She rolled her eyes. It was just a dumb game, Ryan. Don't take it so seriously. I should have pressed her. I should have demanded an answer. But I didn't. Instead, I let it go. Because part of me didn't want to know the truth. But the truth has a way of finding you, whether you're ready or not. And mine was coming faster than I could stop it. That night should have been a turning point. I should have seen the writing on the wall, but I told myself it was just an awkward moment, nothing more. But deep down, something shifted. And then, everything started unraveling. Emily had always been attentive, but suddenly, she was distracted. She canceled plans more often, claiming she had to catch up on work. She started staying out later, using vague excuses, oh, I met up with some old friends, or I lost track of time, without ever really explaining where she had been. And then, the worst part, the distance. Physically, she was right there. But emotionally, she was somewhere else, somewhere I wasn't. I told myself I was imagining things, that I was just paranoid because of that stupid TikTok game. But then Friday night happened. I came home early, excited for a quiet night in. I figured we'd order takeout, put on a movie, and just be together. But when I walked through the door, something felt off. Emily was sitting on the couch, laptop open, but she wasn't typing. She wasn't scrolling. She was just staring at the screen, completely lost in thought. Hey, I'm home, I said. She looked up, startled. You're early. There was something in her voice. Not annoyance, exactly, but not excitement either. I ignored the sinking feeling in my chest and went to the kitchen, starting dinner. Usually, she'd come in, tell me about her day, steal bites of food off my plate. Tonight? Nothing. Just silence. Finally, I turned around and said, all right. What's wrong? She shut her laptop slowly. Then she looked at me. Ryan, I need to talk to you about something. And just like that, I knew. I knew whatever she was about to say was going to rip my life apart. "I've been thinking about us," she started. "And about Jake." I almost laughed, because it was so unbelievably predictable. "Are you serious?" I asked, gripping the counter. "What about him?" She wouldn't meet my eyes. I feel like I need to figure some things out." A long, awful pause. Then she said it. "I think we should take a break." A break. To explore things with her ex-boyfriend. I stared at her, trying to process the sheer audacity of it. "Let me get this straight," I said slowly. "You want to put our engagement on hold so you can go test drive your ex?" "It's not like that," she said quickly, like she could smooth it over. I don't want to have regrets. I need to know for sure that I'm making the right choice with you." She actually thought I would just sit here and wait for her to make up her mind. Like I was some backup option, some safety net in case her little experiment didn't work out. Something inside me snapped. But instead of yelling, instead of losing it, I just nodded. "All right," I said, voice calm. "Take your break." Emily blinked, thrown off by how easily I agreed. "Wait, you're okay with this?" I forced a small smile. "If that's what you need, go for it." She hesitated, like she expected me to argue, to beg her to stay. But when I didn't, she stood up, grabbed her laptop and said, "I'll stay at my mom's for a while. This isn't forever. We'll talk soon, okay?" "Sure," I said simply. I watched as she walked to the bedroom, packing a bag. I listened as the front door clicked shut behind her, and the moment she was gone, I exhaled, because she thought she was leaving me behind. She had no idea I was already one step ahead. The second Emily walked out that door, she probably thought she had one, that I'd sit there, waiting, hoping she'd figure things out and come back to me. But here's the thing about being someone's backup plan. You don't realize how much you've been settling until you finally walk away. And I wasn't about to let her toy with my life while she chased her what-ifs. She wanted a break? She was going to get a hell of a lot more than that. First things first, I needed a plan. So I called my best friend, Adam. Adam's the kind of guy who doesn't sugarcoat things. And when I told him what happened, his first reaction was exactly what I expected. "Dude, are you serious? She actually told you she wanted to test drive her ex?" "Yup." There was a long pause. Then, "Yeah, no, she's done." I chuckled, but the truth was, I had never been more serious about anything in my life. Because I wasn't just going to sit around and let her decide my worth. No, I was going to take back control. Emily loved talking about our place. The decor, the curtains, the furniture she had carefully picked out. She conveniently forgot that the house was entirely in my name. So, first thing Monday morning, I called a real estate agent. Turns out, the market was hot, and we got multiple offers within days. Emily probably thought she'd come back to her home, expecting everything to be just as she left it. She had no idea that soon, it wouldn't be her home at all. You know those little reminders of someone that linger long after they're gone? The framed photos, the inside jokes, the stupid throw pillows? Yeah, all of it, gone. Her things? Packed. But instead of just dropping them off at her mom's house, I got a moving company to deliver every single item she left behind, along with a short, polite note. "Here's your stuff. Good luck with Jake." Efficient. Simple. Final. Mutual friends started asking questions. "Hey, what's going on with you and Emily?" Instead of getting dramatic, I kept it short and honest. Emily wanted to explore things with her ex before committing to marriage. I decided I deserved better. No yelling. No dragging her name through the mud. Just facts. And you'd be shocked how fast people's opinions change when you don't even have to defend yourself. Because deep down, everyone knew exactly what kind of person Emily was. And no one was surprised. The best part? I could already see the panic setting in. Because after days of silence, Emily finally started texting me. At first, it was casual. "Hey, hope you're doing okay." Then, when I didn't reply, "I feel like you're ignoring me. Can we talk?" And then, when she found out I was actually moving on, "Ryan, what are you doing? Why are you acting like this is over?" That was the moment I had been waiting for. I finally replied with one sentence. "Because it is." She didn't get it yet. But she would. Because the best revenge isn't getting even, it's getting better. And I was just getting started. At first, Emily probably thought she was in control. She had set the terms. She had asked for the break, fully expecting me to sit around and wait for her while she played out her little fantasy. But when I didn't, when I started moving on without her, that's when reality finally started sinking in, and she did not take it well. The first real sign of panic came when she found out the house was being sold. She called me 3 times in a row before I finally picked up. "Ryan, tell me you're not serious." I smirked, leaning back in my chair. "Serious about what?" "The house. You're selling it?" I didn't even try to hide my amusement. Why wouldn't I? I live here alone now. Makes sense to move on. Silence. Then, asterisk, but I thought we were going to talk once I had some time. I let that sit between us for a second. Then, in the calmest voice possible, I said, "Emily, you wanted a break. I'm just making it permanent." She sucked in a sharp breath, like she had just been slapped across the face. And for the first time, she had nothing to say. But Emily wasn't the type to accept defeat easily. So when logic failed, she turned to damage control. At first, she played the social media game. She started posting those inspirational quotes. You know the ones. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself again. Growth isn't always comfortable, but it's necessary. Basically, vague nonsense that screamed, "I screwed up, but I don't want to admit it." I ignored it. But the best part? People weren't buying it. Because while she was busy posting her cryptic little messages, I made one simple update. A single post. Excited to start a new chapter in a new city. Big changes ahead. Let's go. And the comments flooded in. "Dude, congrats. Where are you moving?" Man, I had no idea things ended with Emily, but this sounds like the best decision ever. You deserve better, bro. And just like that, Emily lost control of the narrative. People weren't feeling bad for her. They were rooting for me. And that killed her. Because the next thing I knew, she was outside my apartment. I opened the door to find her standing there, eyes red-rimmed, clutching her phone like it was a lifeline. "Ryan, we need to talk." I crossed my arms. "About what?" She exhaled shakily. "I made a mistake." "You don't say." She bit her lip. I thought I needed to be sure. About us. About everything. But I was wrong." I leaned against the doorframe, watching her squirm. "So let me get this straight," I said. "You threw away 4 years, walked out on our engagement, and ran back to your ex, only to realize you already had something better?" She winced. "I was scared, Ryan. Scared of settling. Scared of making the wrong choice." I let out a humorless laugh. "Yeah, well, you made your choice." She reached for my hand, desperation creeping into her voice. "Please, we can fix this. I'll go to therapy. I'll prove to you that I'm serious about us. Just don't throw us away." That was rich. Because after everything she had done, after treating me like an option, she was suddenly begging me to take her back? Not a chance. I pulled my hand away. "I'm not throwing anything away, Emily. You did that the second you walked out that door." Her breath hitched. "Ryan." I shook my head. "I deserve better. And honestly, you do too. You should be with someone who doesn't feel like a what if. Someone you don't have to take a break from to appreciate." Tears welled in her eyes. "You really mean that, don't you?" "I do." And this time, I was the one to close the door on her. I could have been bitter. I could have gone out of my way to make her regret it. But I didn't have to. Because the truth was the best revenge. And the truth was, I was finally free. You'd think that would be the end of it. That after I shut the door in her face, Emily would get the message. But people like her, they don't let go that easily. Especially when they realize they've lost all control. And Emily? She was just getting started. For the next few days, I ignored her texts. At first, they were apologetic. "Ryan, I just want to talk. Please don't shut me out. Can we at least meet for coffee?" Then, when I didn't reply, they turned angry. "You're being unfair. You're really going to throw away 4 years like this?" "I never cheated on you, Ryan. I was just trying to be honest about my feelings." But the worst one, the one that actually made me pause, "You'll regret this." Not because I was scared, but because I could feel the resentment behind it. The moment she realized she couldn't have me, that's when she stopped wanting me and started wanting to ruin me. It started small, little rumors spreading through our mutual friends. At first, I didn't care. People talked. But then, Adam, my best friend, called me. "Bro, Emily's telling people you left her out of nowhere, that she was blindsided by the breakup." I laughed. "Seriously?" "Yeah, she's playing the whole heartbroken girl card, saying you just dumped her with no warning, that she begged you to work things out and you shut her down." I ran a hand over my face, exhaling sharply. Of course she was twisting the story, because people like Emily, they can't stand being the bad guy. They have to be the victim. But I wasn't going to let her rewrite my story, so I made a move of my own. I met up with a few mutual friends for drinks, and when the conversation inevitably turned to Emily, I kept it simple. She told me she wanted to take a break to explore things with Jake, so I let her. That was it. No anger, no dramatics, just the truth. And the best part? The moment I said it, I could see their opinions shift. Because when you don't try to justify yourself, when you just lay the facts on the table, people can see exactly who's lying. The next time Emily texted me, her tone had changed. "I hear you've been telling people I cheated. That's a lie and you know it." I smirked, typing back. "Never said you cheated. Just told people the truth. That you wanted a break to see if Jake was a better option." She didn't reply. Because what could she say? I wasn't lying. I wasn't even angry anymore. I was just done. And that's what drove her crazy. Then came the final blow. One of our mutual friends, Megan, texted me out of nowhere. "Hey, just thought you should know. Emily and Jake broke up." I almost dropped my phone. I called Adam immediately. "Dude, guess who didn't last 2 months?" He burst out laughing. "No freaking way." Yup. Apparently, Jake's still the same lying, cheating piece of garbage he was in college. Wow. Who could have seen that coming? And the best part? Emily had done all of this. Thrown away our relationship, blown up her life. For a guy who didn't even want her. I knew she'd come crawling back. I knew, eventually, I'd get that one last message. And sure enough, a week later, it happened. Ryan, I made a huge mistake. I sat there, staring at the screen. She was expecting me to respond, to ask what happened, to comfort her, to let her back in. But I didn't. Because I wasn't her backup plan. I never was. I just didn't realize it before. So I deleted the text. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. Emily had lost control. She thought she could have it all. Me waiting for her while she played around with Jake. Our life on pause until she made up her mind. But life doesn't work like that. And now, she was the one who had to deal with the fallout. Not me. For a while, things were quiet. No more texts. No more calls. I think she realized I wasn't going to chase after her. But then, out of nowhere, I got a text from her sister, Lily. "Hey, just wanted to say, I'm sorry about everything. You didn't deserve this." I blinked at my screen. Lily and I had always been friendly, but we weren't close. So why was she reaching out now? Before I could even reply, she sent another message. "Emily really thought you'd wait for her. When she found out you moved on, it completely broke her." I exhaled, running a hand through my hair. Of course she thought that. Because in her world, I wasn't a person. I was a safety net. And now that the net was gone, she was free-falling. Later that night, Adam came over with a six-pack. He dropped onto my couch, cracking open a beer. "So, what's the latest on your ex?" I smirked. "She's spiraling." He took a swig. Shocking. I leaned back, stretching my arms behind my head. "Honestly, I don't even care anymore. It's almost funny." Adam grinned. "Almost?" I shrugged. "Okay, it's hilarious." And it was. Because while Emily was drowning in her own mess, I was finally building something new. I had gotten a job offer in another city, a fresh start, away from all the drama. The house sale was finalized. My stuff was packed. In just a few weeks, I'd be gone. No more reminders. No more baggage. No more Emily. But, of course, she wasn't done just yet. Because a few days before I was set to leave, She showed up at my apartment, uninvited. It was late, almost midnight, when I heard the knock. I knew it was her before I even opened the door. And sure enough, there she was, mascara smudged, hair a mess, eyes red like she'd been crying for hours. "Ryan, please," I sighed, leaning against the doorframe. "What do you want, Emily?" She sniffled. I need to talk to you, face to face." I crossed my arms. There's nothing left to say. "Please, Ryan, just 5 minutes." I hesitated, not because I wanted to let her in, but because I needed to see this through. So I stepped aside. 5 minutes. She walked in, looking around like she expected everything to be the same. But it wasn't. The apartment was bare. Boxes stacked in the corner. No framed pictures. No traces of her. Nothing left for her to come back to. Her face crumpled. "You're really leaving?" "Yeah." She swallowed hard. "So that's it? You're just done?" I let out a small laugh. "Emily, you were done first. You just didn't think I'd move on before you had the chance to change your mind." She looked down, twisting her hands. "I made a mistake." "Yeah, you did." She flinched at how easily I agreed. Then she looked up at me, her voice shaking. "Can't we fix this?" And that was the moment. The moment I realized I felt nothing for her anymore. No anger, no sadness, not even satisfaction. Just nothing. I shook my head. "No, Emily, we can't." Tears filled her eyes. "I still love you." I smiled. "That's too bad." And this time, I was the one to walk away. She called out after me, but I didn't turn back, because this wasn't my problem anymore. She had made her choice, and now she had to live with it, just like I had. But the difference? I was walking towards something better, and she was still stuck in the mess she made. The last time I saw Emily, she was standing in my half-empty apartment, tears in her eyes, begging me to take her back. And I walked away, not because I wanted to hurt her, but because I had finally learned that the best way to move on is to truly let go. And that's exactly what I did. A week later, I was gone. New city, new job, new life. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't just getting by. I was thriving. No more waiting. No more second-guessing myself. No more feeling like I had to prove my worth to someone who never saw it in the first place. And let me tell you, freedom feels incredible. Meanwhile, Emily was crumbling. At first, she tried to save face. She kept posting on social media, acting like everything was perfect, like she was totally fine, totally thriving without me. But people weren't buying it, because while she was posting vague quotes about growth and finding herself, I was actually moving forward. I had posted just one simple update: loving the new city, fresh start, new opportunities. Let's go. And the reaction? Overwhelming. Friends reached out, congratulating me. Coworkers in my new office welcomed me in. Even people I barely talked to sent messages, saying they admired how I handled everything. And Emily? She had to sit there and watch. Watch me become the person she never thought I could be without her. And that's when she lost it. A few weeks later, I got a message from an unknown number. I knew exactly who it was before I even opened it. "Ryan, can we please talk?" I ignored it. Then another one. "I miss you." Delete. Then a third. "I don't understand how you can just throw us away like this." And that actually made me laugh. Because I didn't throw anything away. She did. I just made sure not to pick up the pieces. Turns out, Emily's new life was falling apart fast. Jake? The guy she threw everything away for? Yeah, he cheated on her again. And the best part? This time, she didn't even see it coming. One of our mutual friends, Megan, sent me a screenshot of Emily's meltdown on Instagram. A long, dramatic post about betrayal, trust issues, and learning painful lessons. And honestly, I almost felt bad for her. Almost. The final nail in the coffin? A message from her own sister, Lily. "Dude, she's a wreck. She really thought you'd wait for her. When she realized you were actually gone, it broke her." I smirked. Not my problem. It's funny how things turn out. A few months ago, I thought losing Emily would be the worst thing to ever happen to me. Now, I realize she was the best lesson I ever learned. I dodged a bullet. I found myself again. And most importantly, I learned that the best revenge isn't getting even. It's getting better. And that's exactly what I did.